The Beale ciphers have fascinated treasure hunters and cryptographers for over a century.
Let's get a camera behind this to look at this. That's pretty wild. Look at that. That ridge looks like it lines up almost perfectly with that. That lines up to that, that lines up to that, and it slopes up on that side, slopes down over here.
These 3 encrypted messages supposedly conceal a treasure worth millions, making them a significant American mystery.
Gold and silver and jewels worth tens of millions of dollars.
The second cipher has been deciphered, revealing gold, silver, and jewels, yet the first, containing the treasure's precise location, remains elusive.
When someone is hot on the trail of a treasure.
Recent developments hint at possible breakthroughs.
So if we apply the Declaration of Independence to the first Beale cipher,
raising the question,
Really?
Yes, I believe it's possibly in a mansion in Philadelphia.
is the truth within reach?
You can almost feel his heart start to pound as he recognizes that this is the very same material that he has, which must have convinced him, wow, this is too much to be coincidental. There must be something true. This must be true.
Or just another dead end?
So you could see how that would be very exciting, a very exciting prospect and the opportunity to break out of his humdrum existence.
The Beale ciphers have long been a topic of intrigue and fascination. The tale behind them, full of mystery and potential wealth, has inspired generations of amateur sleuths, historians, and cryptographers.
We understand that you're looking for the Beale treasure.
Yes, ma'am, I am, and I believe I found it.
The story begins in the 1820s with Thomas Jefferson Beale, a man whose exploits are wrapped in secrecy. Allegedly, Beale and 30 of his companions discovered a significant deposit of gold and silver near the borders of New Mexico and Colorado. After mining this unexpected fortune, they transported the treasure east to Bedford County, Virginia, where Beale buried it for safekeeping before departing for another journey west. Before leaving, Beale entrusted 3 encrypted messages to Bedford County's local innkeeper, Robert Morris. He instructed Morris to wait 10 years before opening the box containing these ciphers. If Beale had not returned by then, he promised to send a key to decipher the codes. But the key never arrived, and Beale never returned. The 3 ciphers, as described, contained crucial details. The first cipher supposedly described the exact location of the buried treasure, the second detailed its contents, and the third listed the names of the treasure's owners and relatives. Morris, unable to decipher the messages, held onto them for years without success. Eventually, in 1862, he shared the story with a friend, James B. Ward, who became obsessed with cracking the codes. This obsession eventually led to cracking the second cipher, offering details about the treasure, but leaving the location unknown. Through a remarkable breakthrough in the 1860s, Ward deciphered the second cipher using the Declaration of Independence as the key text.
They count words in different ways. Perhaps it's every word, perhaps it's every other word, perhaps you start numbering at the end, perhaps you take the second letter. So they try many different methods of trying to solve paper number 1.
In a fascinating twist, each number in the cipher corresponded to the word's first letter in that position in the declaration. The message revealed specific details about the treasure: 2,921 pounds of gold, 5,100 pounds of silver, and jewels worth approximately $1.5 million in the 1800s. In today's terms, this treasure would be valued at more than $60 million. The story of the Beale ciphers took a significant public turn in 1885 when Ward published a pamphlet titled The Beale Papers. The pamphlet, priced at 50 cents, contained the 3 ciphers, the solution to the second cipher, and the narrative of Beale's treasure discovery. It quickly sparked a wave of interest among treasure hunters, leading many to Bedford County, Virginia, in search of the hidden wealth. But despite the excitement, only the second cipher has been cracked, and the crucial first cipher that supposedly reveals the exact location of the treasure has resisted all attempts to break it. While offering tantalizing proof that the codes might hide something valuable, the second cipher still leaves much to be desired in solving the puzzle. As the years have passed, experts from various fields of cryptography and history, as well as the National Security Agency, NSA, have tried their hand at cracking the remaining ciphers, to no avail. The Beale ciphers hold an extraordinary place in the history of cryptography. They represent one of the earliest examples of complex cryptography in American history, emerging when the country was amid post-Civil War reconstruction and expansion. The ciphers, if authentic, may predate many modern cryptographic techniques, giving them a unique historical significance. The fact that the second cipher was decrypted using a method based on the Declaration of Independence, the revered founding document of the United States, adds intrigue to the story. Now first, like always, be sure to hit the like button down below. It helps us out tremendously with the reach of this video. Thank you. The second cipher's solution, which revealed an inventory of the treasure and its location relative to Buford's, is specific and detailed. It lists the types of treasure: gold, silver, and jewels, their exact weights, and even the dates when they were deposited. The treasure was hidden at a depth of 6 feet in an excavation or vault near a location 4 miles from Buford's. For treasure hunters, these specific details only heighten the mystery and excitement, as they suggest the treasure might be real. The method that James B. Ward used to break the second cipher was, by today's standards, relatively straightforward. He applied a book cipher technique using the Declaration of Independence as the key text. Each number in the cipher corresponds to a word in the declaration, and the first letter of that word becomes part of the decoded message. For instance, if the cipher contains the number 8 and the 8th word in the declaration is people, the letter P becomes part of the decrypted message. The fact that Ward could crack the cipher using a specific version of the Declaration of Independence is an interesting twist in the story. The 19th century saw several versions of the Declaration in circulation, with slight variations in punctuation and wording. That one particular version of the document worked as the key for the cipher, which many have taken as proof of the cipher's authenticity. In contrast, others have viewed it as suspiciously convenient. However, the discovery of the second cipher's solution has not been matched by the successful decryption of the first and third ciphers. Despite the efforts of cryptographers, treasure hunters, and even the NSA, who reportedly analyzed the ciphers in the mid-20th century, the first cipher, which is believed to contain the exact location of the treasure, has remained a mystery. Amateur sleuths and cryptographers have continued to search for solutions to the remaining ciphers. Over the years, the Beale Cipher Association has held numerous workshops and seminars, while online communities dedicated to the mystery have flourished. These amateur enthusiasts have developed a variety of theories, testing out different potential key texts from documents related to Thomas Jefferson to obscure historical letters. Yet despite all their efforts, the treasure's location remains elusive. Technological advancements in cryptography and computing have brought new hope to those trying to crack the Beale ciphers. In recent decades, computational approaches have applied increasingly sophisticated algorithms to the problem. In the 1970s, cryptographers used brute force methods to test thousands of potential key texts. Later, linguistic analysis became popular as experts attempted to find patterns that might reveal the underlying encryption method. More recently, machine learning techniques have been employed, using statistical anomalies to help identify possible solutions. Despite these advancements, the mystery of the Beale ciphers endures. Cryptographers have pointed to several challenges in deciphering the codes. First, breaking the code without knowing the encryption method becomes a Herculean task. Second, solving the cipher may be impossible if the key text is obscure or no longer exists. Third, the short length of the ciphers, combined with the fact that they contain limited data for pattern recognition, adds to the difficulty. Some skeptics even suggest that the ciphers may not contain any message and are instead part of a 19th century hoax. In late 2024, a new development in the search for the Beale treasure emerged when Ken Bauman, a former railroad detective, claimed to have cracked the Beale ciphers. Bauman's approach was markedly different from earlier attempts. Rather than relying solely on the Declaration of Independence, Bauman and his team explored other historical documents from the early American period. They examined letters and correspondence that previous cryptographers had not widely considered. Bauman's team's breakthrough, however, came with a twist. They proposed that the treasure might not be located in Bedford County, Virginia, as previously assumed. Instead, they suggested that the treasure might be hidden in a Philadelphia mansion, with historical ties to prominent early Americans. This radical departure from the accepted narrative sparked interest and skepticism, with some cryptographers criticizing the method for relying on assumptions rather than hard evidence. Working with historical preservation experts, Bauman's team used non-destructive techniques, such as ground-penetrating radar, to search the Philadelphia property for anomalies. They claimed that their decryption method, which matched numerical patterns in the cipher to specific property features, was a breakthrough in the investigation. Despite the skepticism surrounding Bauman's claim, his team has diligently pursued the investigation. However, the search for the Beal treasure remains ongoing, with cryptographers, treasure hunters, and historians continuing to debate the cipher's authenticity and potential to lead to a fortune buried beneath the American soil. Modern technologies like artificial intelligence and quantum computing show promise in tackling historical ciphers. AI analyzes large data sets, aiding in the search for keys to decode the Beale ciphers. Meanwhile, quantum computing, though still developing, has the potential to transform cryptography by allowing researchers to explore numerous solutions at once. However, the Beale ciphers pose special challenges, as without knowledge of their encryption methods, deciphering them remains difficult and may even be impossible. As cryptographers, treasure hunters, and historians search for the Beale treasure, some believe the ciphers may be more than a hoax, serving as cultural artifacts that reflect early American cryptography and its fascination with treasure stories post-Civil War. Their mystery endures, leaving the treasure's fate uncertain.